Welcome to another week of Hogging the Mic. Holy cow. I'm your host, Eddie Jenkins, along with your other host, Kenneth J. Paltrow III. How you doing there, Green Kenny? You're back in the bathroom. Back in the bathroom. Okay, this is not going to go well. And your other host, Maximum Bacon. What's up, buddy?
Uh, Hold on, I gotta fix something here. There we go, that's better.
Jesus, everybody breaking out the gimmicks. So many gimmicks.
We're back, baby.
So how am I playing the straight man to all these gimmicks?
I don't know. All I see is FedEx Field behind me.
It might look worse than that. There's not shit in there, is there?
Hashtag dumpster fire.
It's not good. It's not good. I don't know. Like the defense, they held out for a while, and then it just all kind of came apart. Like part of that I think everybody's been talking about this week is Taylor Heinicke seemed like he was muted, seemed like he was reined in, tamed a little bit. Do you think that was on him, or do you think that was on the coaching staff?
I thought the play calling. Heineke did not play a good game. I'm a Heineke supporter. Didn't play a good game. The play calling I thought was atrocious this week. There was 2 series back to back, and I don't pride myself on like being able to call football plays very well. I called every single offensive play. It's 2 3 and outs. It was 6 plays. I called 6 in a row, and I was like, "This will be a draw." I was like, "Okay, well, we did a draw, 2nd and 10, so obviously we're going to go
Screen
deep."
pass.
Well, then we go deep for that, and we 3rd and 10, and then it was like, well, now it's a screen pass.
Yeah.
-5 yards, and it was like, if I'm doing this, the guys that are paid millions of dollars already have it figured out.
Yeah. And I can't say I'm surprised. Just like his dad. Just like his dad.
Yeah, you're right. Heineke, he played a pretty poor game overall. I was kind of down on him after, and I'm just going to go ahead and say we got to vote somebody off the island this week. I'm going to vote somebody off. Their name starts with a T, and it ends with an R. Scott Turner.
Fair enough.
You thought I was going another direction, didn't you?
I was never sure, man. I was like, I'm not sure what he's about to say. Like I was waiting. I was waiting with bated breath. Huh?
Taylor Heineke.
I wouldn't vote out Taylor Heineke.
Just trying to string you along there a little bit, but no,
old comedic timing, Bacon.
The worst part about the entire game, minus the fact of the whole Sean Taylor bungling prior to it all,
prior to,
I'm sure we'll
during,
get into. Yeah,
and the whole time
was it was the play calling. It was awful. It was flat. Like, you're playing probably, besides us a couple weeks, the worst defense in the entire league that everybody is shredding, and you go vanilla. It makes no sense.
Very vanilla. It seemed like he was very much told to manage the game, and like a good robot, he basically stuck to the game plan, even though when it was detrimental, because usually you would see him run from the pocket a few times during a game, like at least extend a play into something, or like run upfield. He didn't really do that at all.
Well, if you paid attention to the first half versus the second half of the Chiefs offense, we were able to keep Mahomes in the pocket for the first half, but as soon as in the second half he started rolling out of the pocket, doing his thing, the same thing Heineke does well, it was successful. We just left him in the pocket throwing -5 yard screens, as Kenny said.
Yeah. It was like I was watching a freaking Florida Gators game with all those screens. It's killing me. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like maybe like next time I go to FedEx Field, I'll throw a golf ball at Scott Turner. See if that wakes him up. Maybe he'll do something. Maybe just
and Kenny will throw a bottle of mustard.
Yeah, I think that's the next stop. The next stop for this team is throwing things. Maybe we'll go something more deadly, like we'll go batteries at John Rocker. Like,
We're only throwing our feces at this point. That's the only thing we're equipped with.
or maybe other people's that are leaking from pipes.
Like a bunch of trained monkeys.
Yeah,
And we are 6 weeks into the season. We got so many jokes already. It's the saddest thing in the world.
I mean, you gotta have you gotta have a long fuse if you're a Washington fan these days. They are just been bad for most of our lifetime.
Well,
Haven't been good since I was 7.
Kenny said 5 weeks in, 6 weeks in, we're gonna see who we really are, and I guess this is it.
They suck.
We looked into the mirror and saw just a bunch of vomit.
They went from doo-doos to vomit.
Every excrement from a body is what we are.
Yeah. And the defense eventually showed who they were again, and they were just awful. Chase Young, still not impressive. They got a little bit of pressure on the quarterback in the beginning, but he always, I feel like he over pursues like outside the tackle and just he takes himself out of some place. And then I think other times when he just does his one move, they just know what to do.
Well, the defense was not good, but it was probably their best game of the season so far, which is,
and they still got 31
something.
put on them.
Yeah, mostly in the second half. Like the first half of the game, I was like, all right, maybe our defense is coming together a little bit, but yeah, I got my hopes up for nothing.
Yeah,
I think this game was kind of a mix of last year second half and then last year first half, which when we had no identity. The second half of last year, we were really good about being playmakers, and I saw it happen multiple times in the first half where, yes, they were doing 70-yard drives, but it doesn't matter if you're getting interceptions or fumbles, and we did that 3 times. The second half was 3rd and 15, first down, 3rd and 10, penalty, 3rd and 12, first down. And then instead of making plays, guys are uncovered again. There's no accountability. We went right back into 32nd overall defense.
And Landon Collins just chasing behind people. it's an like everyday occurrence.
He's the anti Sean Taylor. Like Sean Taylor was a freaking legend, ball hawk, always around the play. Like, yeah, Landon Collins runs the other direction, it seems like.
Or is not in the vicinity of where the direction is.
Yeah. I want to tell this joke live on Hogging the Mic. I already told you guys. But the Washington football team honored Sean Taylor's legacy this last week by starting the game playing a man down by starting Landon Collins at safety.
But
the
crowd goes wild. Yeah, he's like, how many pea sprinkles that bounced up when you did that?
It's 2 sprinkles. I've been doing since Sunday.
Yeah, it is.
For 15 straight hours just pooping. It's sort of like a Washington football team practice, but solo.
And it seems from the Monday presser too that Rivera's like, going back to the drawing board, so to speak, when he said he wasn't going to make any scheme changes just last week. So, like, yeah, I don't know. Like, and there's just some of his game management and some of the stuff that he does in game. You're just kind of like, why? Like, which just makes me lose hope in him, like becoming.
We're gonna have to do something. We're gonna have to do something. Obviously, what we're doing is not working on offense now. Our offense was okay before. Our offense now looks terrible. Our defense looked half improved and then went back to terrible. So something's got to give. Something's got to change. So yeah, back to the drawing board. You got to go, or else it's just going to stay the same.
Like if the defense still keeps going this way, I want Del Rio gone.
Right, and which is like really sad to say. Like in what are we going to go? Week 6, week 7, week 7 coming up, because this is the third of the season, and if he said we've got to go back to the drawing board. That means a third of the season is in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like not just bad, it's like historically bad. They're historically bad on third down. Like just awful.
That was the other thing. In the second half, we were something like 8 of 10 third down conversions again. Like that, you have to try. You have to try to do that. That just doesn't happen. You physically try to be that bad.
Yeah.
Well, the only good thing I saw was my fantasy score going up from all those Chiefs doing their thing. Like none of us expected us to win this game. We weren't surprised that we lost. It was just the way we lost. Like we outplayed them the first half. If we had any semblance of offense in the first half, we could have had them down 21, 24, 28 to 10 even. But because we got turnovers, we were stopping them, making them punt. Like the Chiefs rarely ever used their punter. They had to use their punter against us. And
A very mediocre team, 3 turnovers in one half means that you have outscored the opponents by at least 2 scores. We went into halftime 13 to 10. Like that already wasn't okay. I think our team, who's now, to me, they're not all mopey yet, but I think mentally it's like, well, it's the Chiefs, we're only up by 3, and then immediately we go out in the second half, and our boy, Dustin Hopkins,
He's
shanked
awful.
one. By the way, that field, I've never seen a field goal kick. So I sit midfield. I've never seen a field goal kick from midfield where I could tell 2 feet after a 50-yard field goal that it's no good. Like it wasn't to the point where it was like it was leaning left. It went like over the side of the Chiefs sidelines.
It's why is he still there? They brought back Blewett again. Which again, such a name. Such a name to be a kicker. Like how awful is that? Hopefully that he sticks around. I don't know what it's going to take to get Hopkins off this team.
I mean, you might as well promote Blewett. You can throw Hopkins on the practice squad. If he gets gone, it's not a big deal. I mean,
can Hopkins be on the practice squad? He started enough games.
well, I don't know. I mean, but seriously, like we're all over it. If he disappeared off the face of the earth tomorrow, I don't think anybody would be too sad about it at this point.
I don't think there's a single fan of this team that would be sad about it.
Even if we promote Blewett off the practice squad and he sucks, what's any different with it? We'll try out another kicker.
Yeah.
Right. I think my biggest problem with Hopkins is most kickers will have bad games. Like a lot of kickers have bad games. He consistently misses one a game. There are a lot of kickers that go 4 to 5 games where they're perfect. You can rely on them. Then they'll have like one day you're like, man, you were 1 for 3. That hurts. And then they'll go another 4 or 5 games without missing one. Hopkins is make, miss, make. Miss, miss, make. Make, miss. And it's like, stop missing. Just go 4 games with making field goals. Because half of them are 30 yards or shorter.
And extra points. So.
And extra points.
He's just inconsistent all around.
At what point in this podcast can I go on a rant about off-field shenanigans? Because I have to get that off my chest at some point.
Oh, that's definitely going to be talked about because, I mean, that's all this week was, and that'll be an amalgam of, I mean, I don't even know how much more we need to talk about it. Defense, just overall awesome.
Right.
Last year, now they're awful. Who knows what's going on? And they're like just as bad as they were great last year.
Let's
let's
see if we have. Sorry,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, let's see if we have any happy things to throw out here before we go on with the trail of sadness.
I am.
Rant.
We'll get on to that. Like so.
Yeah,
overall, let's just lump them all in together because I don't think anybody played overall well. What do you give the defense, Kenny?
Defense. So I'm going to factor in the 3 turnovers. I'm also going to factor in the second half. They were not an F minus this week. I'll give them a D minus because it was the Chiefs. We did kind of put them in check for a half, but they also blew it the second half.
I hope they're bluing it this week instead of Hopkins in it. How about you, Max?
Yeah, I'm gonna give them a C minus. I think the first half was excellent, about as good as you can ask for against the Chiefs, and then so A on that, and then an F on the second half averages out to a C.
I'm gonna go with Kenny. We're agreeing. We're syncopado again there, Imano. D minus. A boopity. Whatever
We just
that's
offended
about.
all our Italian hoggies. We just
Yeah.
like Italian hoagies.
Well, I was playing
Sorry.
Super Mario Brothers earlier, so you know. How about the offense? Like, let's Heineke. What do you give him?
Heineke, I'm gonna have to give him a D plus.
Yeah, I don't think it was awful. I don't think it was great. It was just like vanilla, like the play calling. And when you when you take away the thing that makes him special, with his ability to make plays like that, I think that's when you get this and it's not good. It doesn't make him better than any other quarterback on the roster.
My biggest issue, not my biggest issue, one of the red flags, I should say, on that touchdown to Seals Jones. If you watch that again, so the coverage was Washington football team blown. Where
Yeah.
like guys looked at each other and they said, "Oh, Spider-Man pointing at Spider-Man meme. We're all Landon Collins." And then Seals Jones is like in the backfield, like, "I'm open," and Heineke sees him, throws the pass. Seals Jones has to stop, turn around, catch it behind him, and then start again. He still was able to score because he was so open, but it was like you hit that guy and strike. Like there was not a guy around him, just throw it like in front of him.
There was actually another guy on the sideline behind him wide open
Yes.
too.
Two guys were wide open.
Yeah.
And they didn't get many of those plays that were that, considered that big of plays the whole game. So I agree with you, Kenny. How about you, Max?
I want to say one thing about that one play again.
Please.
I said something bad about Heineke. That play was created by him as well. You watch that play, the first two things he did a shoulder like fake, and then he did a full on pump fake, and that's why there was no one in the defense. Then he threw a terrible football. But the first two moves opened up that whole play. When he's spreading the ball to the rest of the field. Max's turn.
No,
it's always Kenny's turn, I think.
Hogging the Kenny. Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm joking. Go ahead.
No, I'll also give him a D. I think you let him do
just
his
a
thing
D. He gave him a D plus. Or what are you giving him, a D? Just a flat D?
Yeah, flat D. I mean, like you said, you take away what makes him special.
Gives, my heart every single.
Whole steamrolled D. Yeah, I'll give him.
He didn't play. He didn't play well. You just gotta. I mean, you gotta realize that the Chiefs' defense has been so terribly bad this year. To only score 13 points is pathetic.
And we'll go by these pretty quick. Gibson did it again, fumbled. Other than that, decent performance. I'm gonna give him like a C minus.
I mean, for me, it was like I'd give him honestly a D minus. He had a fumble, he got hurt. He had maybe like a couple decent runs, but like decent being like 6 to 7 yards, which is expected by a running back. Wasn't a game changer at all. Just fumbled and got hurt.
McKissick was the top receiver on the team, so that tells you a little bit everything about that too. Although it's good to know that he's sure-handed. I do like McKissick, but not something you want to see from your other running back. How about you, Max?
Yeah, Gibson needs to work on his hands,
which is surprising. He was a receiver.
Yeah, that's. I was getting ready to say that he needs to work on his hands. Like these fumbles are bringing back shades of Matt Jones back in the day. I believe he was another third-round pick. But I think he's more talented and going to last longer. But yeah, no, D.
All right, and how about your receivers? This is the last group we'll talk about. Like, I didn't think we really saw much production at all. I don't know.
Yeah,
if that
McLaurin
was
dropped a pass. Like that was
one of the only ones
weird.
He's dropped. Like he has like one of, I think, the lowest drop rates in the league.
Yeah, that was very surprising. Yeah, it was just everything was going poorly at that point. It's on the offense. It's when Terry's dropping balls, you're just something bad is happening.
Yeah, and I don't know how they fix it. I just I don't, and it just seems like for whatever reason this organization it's just like doomed to fail. Hence like all this off-season stuff. You know what I mean? Or not off-season, off no non-football stuff that's just going around and has pretty much enveloped the team. And then they try to do stupid things like what everybody I think believes, using the Taylor jersey retiring kind of as a shield against all the horrible press they've been getting, which is it infuriates me. If you look at everything that happened with the ceremony, and I watched it, like they dedicated the road. Did you see the picture where they dedicated the road?
Yeah, in front of the porta potties.
In front of porta potties. So that's great. How many people spoke at the dedication at halftime? Nobody. It just seemed haphazard and thrown together. They didn't even have enough of the giveaways to give the sparse amount of fans that showed up.
But you can go online and buy one for $21.
And well, all the money goes to Jackie Taylor's charity fund that she's set up in honor of Sean Taylor. So it does go to a good cause. I think they're $21, so it makes sense.
No, I agree.
Oh, wow.
Just have enough for the whole entire stadium if you're going to have it. And Kenny,
Yeah, especially when it's like 10 people.
yeah, exactly. Kenny, go ahead, let them have it.
Can I rant?
Let them have
You're
it.
going to anyway.
Yeah, I am. Okay. Well, how about this? You all talk about one more thing. I'm going to move into my happy place, and then I'm going to let it all out. Give me 10 seconds.
I don't think we're that type of podcast.
We are now.
Yeah, we took off the safe for kids rating on YouTube, so
Oh goodness.
now we
Okay.
get to see
Hello,
Kenny's chest.
my hoggies.
This, and it's like the most like just white blown out looking picture.
We are live inside the hatred inside of my heart. Okay. All right. Here's the problem I have with the last 7 days of football team.
I feel like I'm one of Kenny's
Oh,
students
God.
right now.
Does he teach?
First
Does
of
he
all-
teach kids? I still don't understand what his job is exactly.
I actually just yell at kids about the football team for 8 hours a day, and then I go home and I cry.
He's just a crazy man. He doesn't have a job. He's drawing money because he's crazy from the state for something. Probably a blown out
And I
hip.
repeat that 5 days a week, and then on the weekends I just go to games and I cry there. Okay, so we haven't really talked about off-field stuff too much on the podcast, and I think because my thing was the first couple weeks you're going, this can't be us again, and the next couple weeks after that you're going, maybe it's us again, and now it's us again. So
It's because they didn't pay for, and it's old sins.
well, it's so right. There's,
Yeah.
And there's old, and there's new, and there's just like stuff that's just coming out of the ether.
The
so I-
ether.
I said the ether. I don't know. I've lost my mind. Remember, I'm a guy that screams at elementary school kids about the football team. So, but
Old
I sent you
ether.
guys this text. I sent you guys this text earlier, either end of last week or earlier this week. My concern is we have had a number of offenses, new offenses, that
And really
have-
bad ones.
really bad ones that have sprung up just this season. We are approaching week 7, and just this year, and it's not like if you take one or two of them out of context to a good franchise, you don't even worry about it. But here we are, 30 years into a lot of stuff, a lot of things that are not good. Even like people that aren't football fans know about our stuff. And already this year we've had, and like I said, some of them happenstance, some of them spaghettios. So number one, we had poop fall on some of our fans in game 1, and then that went viral. So like already not a good look. We also had the DEA come into our stadium and arrest our head trainer and a side trainer for wearing a trench coat with drugs in it that they were giving out to everybody. That was number 2.
Free candy.
Free candy for everybody. Then number 3 was what was the other thing? There was like 5 things on this list.
Bruce
that we-
Allen.
Oh, the email scandal. This email scandal that, yes, I know that's a little old, but here we are. Now we're getting accused of stuff, got a coach fired. We're in the middle of it. No one's taking credit for it. Everyone's just like, we're
Everybody's
fine.
catching strays. Everybody's catching strays from Dan
Everyone's catching
Snyder.
strays. And the NFL sitting there going, you guys are all right. And everyone, including all of our sexually abused and harassed cheerleaders, are like, there were emails that now were discovered with my boobs on them. and that's not okay. And the football team and the NFL's like, don't worry about it. That was that. Then this week, here comes Sean Taylor. This is a slam dunk. You have the most loved man in the last 30 years on this franchise. All you had to do was celebrate him by going a little above and beyond for one game, planned for months. And what do? They royally, excuse my French, fucked it up.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, from the very launch of it, again, it seemed very much like they were using it as a shield to give them some, positivity coming out of everything that was going on with Bruce Allen and some very horrible allegations that show you the very core of what that organization stood for at the time. And you've got to imagine if he was all chummy with Dan, those are probably some feelings that I wouldn't imagine are not shared just because of the culture there and the lack of any oversight. Like Dan's either super, super stupid or he's also a terrible person. And it seems like he's a terrible person from all intents and purposes.
Right. But
and
I've got. Sorry.
And at what point does the NFL step in? Because I don't know if you looked at that tweet that I sent you that a guy who's a lawyer put out there, but he was talking about what happened with the Panthers owner, and that a precedent has been set. So.
Well, at the same time,
why? And it seems like he did like Dan Snyder's done way worse.
Right, but you have to ask yourself: the NFL is this whole corrupt system.
Mm-hmm.
Why is Bruce Allen being knocked out of the Ring of Fame in Tampa? But a guy like Warren Sapp, we talked about this last week. Why is Warren Sapp? There's like no one's even talking about it. Both have done, I don't want to say equally bad things, but on a level of equally bad things.
And you meant John Gruden, right?
Right.
From the Ring of Fame, yeah.
Sorry. The Ring of Fame, John Gruden. How come? Right. There are owners that have taken the bullet, but our owner just seems like he's got tenure. Like he was like, I've done 20 years of shit. I can't be touched now. I have a yacht. I can take new cheerleader pictures on it.
And it felt like those kind of got, in a way, leaked on purpose to trash both John Gruden and Bruce Allen because I don't think that he probably likes him either. But because he specifically, John Gruden, called the commissioner of the league a word that I won't use here, but repeatedly. So it feels like maybe it was a little, oh yeah, am I?
Right.
You're screwed.
So one of my concerns going forward is Jason Wright. When he came here, he seemed to be the anti-Bruce Allen. He was the cleaner. He was going to come to our team.
Kenny Omega?
He was going to come to our team to take the brunt of what was going on, which was mostly this email schedule, clean it up from within, just expose the things that need to be exposed, and then kind of probably leave because he's an NFL guy, not like a team guy. And he got here, and what did he do? He walked into the stadium, he pulled his pants down, he took a big old poop, and then I ate it every Sunday while I was there.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I will say it's embarrassing as a franchise. I'm in a group chat with like a wide variety of football team fans, and there's even no, not necessarily our football team.
You're cheating on us.
NFL teams.
He's cheating on us again.
There's even Cowboys fans in there, and they feel sorry for us. They're like, we're really supposed to hate each other, and they're like, I
still hate them. I still hate them for sure.
We hate them. They don't hate us.
They don't even care.
They don't care. No one cares about us.
They don't find us. They don't find us to be a threat. They see that we're self-destructive. Even if we get something good going, we're going to ruin it. But they feel bad for us as a fan base. So like no fan should ever have to go through the crap that we have to go through year after year after year. And it's not just a pitiful on the field product. It's the off the field stuff that you got to get right to get the product on the field to be right.
Yep. I think the worst feeling about all this I think the Sean Taylor thing was kind of like the peak of the iceberg, where we as fans, it felt like we actually had taken a couple steps forward. And now I feel like we as collectively feel like we're back at square one going, okay, now we have to bring either someone else in or we have to start over. But like square one, here we are, and go.
Yeah, it feels like everything's just nothing's changed. You know,
Nothing.
it doesn't feel like a thing's changed, and the fact that Snyder wasn't reprimanded at all, really. He gave day-to-day operations to his wife. That's what has happened to him. Which that's bullshit. Dan's still making the decisions.
Sure.
It's I don't know why anybody would take a job here. I don't know why any player would want to be here at this point. Like it's
Right.
always something.
Yeah, it just feels like, so whatever trust that Jason Wright got from me specifically, a lot of the fans, I feel like has been lost because, like, once again, he was the cleaner, and now we're sitting here week 7, and once again, I think I put this in the text. This has nothing to do with the toilet water that is the actual football product.
Yeah.
We could be 7-0, and I'd be upset right now because we're a dirty franchise. So it's the combination of a dirty franchise and a dirty team, and it's just like,
Only way you fix it is cut the head off the snake.
I'm a Ravens fan.
Yeah, and I've kind of said that for years. I was like, yeah, you can't. Every time we would talk about something, I would get down on it immediately, and I was like, you can't really fix the body if the brain has cancer, and that's kind of what just shows here, like lack of care of ownership. They went from one of the best NFL owners of all time, in my opinion, in Jack Kent Cook, to one of, if not the worst owner in sports history.
No.
Who's worse?
Well, he hasn't. So guys that would relocate the team
Modern
without
sports
caring.
history.
I do think that I think it's very safe to say we went from a top 5 franchise of all time to a bottom 5 franchise of all time.
Yeah.
Over 30 years.
Yep. And like I think that's some people that still cling, like that hate that the name is changing to something else and they're nameless kind of right now. Like I think that's a lot of the reason people cling to that at this point is because there's been no happiness with this team. I think if they were like a championship team and then it changed, I think people would be like, it is what it is. Like a little bit more. You'd still always have a thread of the population that would never want to change because, that's just people get stuck on things. But I think that's a little bit of it right now. I think if they were winning, it wouldn't be that big of a deal to a lot of folks.
I agree. I also think what's very disheartening is the change seemed to come with the name change. We changed the name and a lot of people accepted it as, okay, let's associate the last 25 years of Redskins with Bruce Allen and all the grossness. Once the name changes, clean slate. We're new. We're like an expansion team. Let's go. 2 years in, we took 2 steps forward and 12 steps backwards. And it's like, ew, now the team is the Redskins, which is the dirty team. So they get one more shot with a new name where a lot of people mentally can go, okay, we're now the Periwinkles because we're going to botch that too. And we're going to go, we're the Periwinkles, new start. And then immediately Dan Snyder sex tape with our entire team, orgy style. And we're going to have to go, well, cancel everything.
It's like, yeah, at this rate, like they're going to botch the name change, aren't they? They're going to botch it. They're going to botch it.
It's not going to be like, so Red Wolves, some people like that. Generals, some people like that. They're going with Periwinkles. They're going with something that nobody wanted. And they're just like, it's going to be like the Snyders. We're the Snyders. Everyone's just going to vomit and they're going to go, and 0-17 first year.
Like, I could see it also being something just like, just a really bad name. You know what I mean? Like the Commanders. Like it's one of the worst on the list, I think.
So here's the thing.
Or the Monument
thing. People are going to like the Army thing. I'm talking about a name so bad, not one person likes it. Not one.
I think
why the Snyders.
I think that both of those names will get some hate. Or he'll actually do the Redskins potatoes route and he'll be like, it's fine. We're the potatoes.
At this point, we just become the Redskins again because why the fuck not? We don't care anymore.
It's like Scooby Doo.
We can just be the Washington, right. And like, Washington Landon Collins.
Look at Max's background. No one cares what our name is if we look like that.
Exactly. So I don't know. I think that also gave some people an excuse to abandon ship, to jump to the Ravens or to whatever new franchise that they love now. I said I would never cheer for them if they changed the name. I think a little bit of it's an excuse because it's just an embarrassment. Like
Embarrassment.
and a lot of it's one guy. It's one guy's fault.
It's a trickle down effect.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people's fault, but it starts from the top.
Yeah, I mean, it started with his
fault
ownership.
for buying a new jersey every time we get a quarterback change.
Yeah, and it's Dan Snyder's fault for marketing that to Kenny, knowing that he can't help himself.
Yeah. I mean, it's also our fault for being good 30 years ago to make me happy once to think that would ever happen again. My dad should have sat me down when I was 8 and said, son, this is the last time you're ever going to smile. And then I just cry, and then I like the Jets or another team that's equally bad or at least doesn't have these problems, at the very least.
I can't imagine that kid from the Instagram picture of you being in some newspaper during. I'm guessing this is the Super Bowl 26 era, right?
Yeah.
And like just being interviewed and talking about how like just psyched you are for the game. Can you believe that little boy has turned into this man?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to butterfly affect this shit where I go back and slap the holy hell out of my own child and then be like, stop it, you are not a fan, you're a piece of shit. Go Patriots! And I'm like, Patriots? And now I'm just like a douche with like a hat that's like, yeah, Boston, everything. And I'm happy, but I'm happy. I'm happily married. I have 14 kids in my background. And
You
they're
have
all
hair.
rich with money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marcy
I
would
have
love
like
that.
long flowing blonde hair. It's wonderful.
Why is it blonde? Did you bleach it? Are you Eminem?
Blonde, gorgeous Thor hair.
You're one of those dragon people. Oh,
Jeez.
Jesus. I can see this though, like, and that would have been a perfect time to make a Marvel reference, like, if you weren't just such a film troglodyte.
I went Ashton Kutcher 2002. Also, I do have journals about my very first Redskins game. I need to start reading them and then leave them notes.
Are you Doug Funny? do you write in your journal at the end of the day?
Yeah, and like it would always end like all sad, like his episodes where it's like had no friends, like busted for patty mayonnaise.
No wonder you meet like beautiful women that are interested in you, and then you just befriend them. You write journals. Dear journal, today
By the
I
way,
met Sally.
Our team name should be called the Washington Patty Mayonnaises.
Oh God,
So
that's gross.
Speaking of Marvel references, Eddie, would you do the snap for a 50-50 chance of Dan Snyder disappearing?
Yes. I would snap a lot of things just to get rid of Dan Snyder. I don't know if I would snap half the population.
What if it was guaranteed Dan Snyder, Dustin Hopkins, and Landon Collins? Would you do it?
I'm in.
Like for half the human population, no. Maybe for the population of maybe like Philly and Dallas specifically.
There you go.
I want targeted. I want targeted retaliation.
Fair enough.
That's awful.
So-
I think Dallas is doing that themselves with the high COVID rating there anyway, and the lack of vaccinations.
Well, Dallas is on a bye, so hopefully, you've already seen one of their players get a DUI. Maybe some more of them will get in trouble, and then by the time we play them, half the team will be in jail, and we'll maybe have a close game with them.
Is this the mid '90s? That's when they were good. They were, getting in
when
trouble.
Irvin was on the cocaine. Oh wait,
Yeah, they're going to the cocaine palace or whatever it was at Jerry's house.
Yep.
Jesus.
So
well,
we're getting the
good thing. Yeah.
What was that?
I was just
did you
about to
set a
say.
timer?
I was just about to say, good thing that this team is, really hitting their stride, and they just play the Packers this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. But surprisingly enough, Aaron Rodgers is only 2-3 against Washington lifetime, which is pretty crazy. They've always played him pretty strong, but something tells me that ends.
Well,
this
the
Sunday.
Chiefs, the Chiefs are only 2-3 going into our game as well. So
They were an underrated 2-3. They just have a really bad defense. Not that matters.
well, it does.
And he just looked like the Bruce Allen meme with the water bottle.
Yep. Kenny got it. It's subliminal.
Packers, it is coming up. We have a gauntlet that we're right in the middle of it, and Yeah, I think it might get a little more ugly this week. What do you fellas think?
I think it's going to be great to play next year's starting quarterback at least one more time while he's wearing a Packers jersey.
Well,
We're not getting Aaron Rodgers, but okay.
I just can't wait for the day where Washington ends up with Baker Mayfield and Eddie has to cheer him on.
I mean, cool. Let's get a guy that can't put the team on his shoulders, can't lift them above actual great top 6 QBs, and always loses to him. He's just not very good. I don't even think he's got a full tendon in that right shoulder right now.
You just described 98% of our quarterbacks since 1992.
Yeah,
I was thinking the same
and
thing.
it also describes Baker Mayfield
Yeah, we'll
because
see.
he's mediocre. He's not very good. He's
Just
not
great.
very good. He's just there. He's got one of the best defenses and run games in the league, and he still sucks. He's bad. I'd rather have Eric Couch right now.
Oh my god.
Or Tim
Ryan
Couch.
Leaf, too.
Tim Couch, rather. Eric Couch. Who's that? Some guy from the 70s show.
Probably our
It's-
next quarterback.
Yeah, it's some guy that started his own furniture business, and we pull out of retirement to play backup quarterback, and he ends up starting like 6 games for us, and Kenny has his
that
jersey.
Josh Johnson?
Is that retirement from the furniture business or retirement from a past NFL stint?
Well,
No.
his name was,
I'm not going to make couches anymore. Oh, football. Let's do that.
you know, Tim Couch went to go sell couches, and now he's an armchair quarterback.
There you
Where's my
go.
toilet when you need it?
Yeah, that would be a
That was terrible. But yeah, he's awful. But anyway, the Packers. So
Boy.
their defense isn't great this year, right? They're still the same old defense for the most part.
yeah, nothing special. Do they still have Preston Smith? I was curious about that earlier.
No idea.
No, they do. He just had a half sack last week or 2 weeks ago, and I was like, oh, right. He's still producing for another team. Cool.
Just like everybody else.
Just like everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah. I just
Yeah,
don't know.
they're
I like
average.
I'm at the point of just crying at this point. Like it started off so well.
It's gonna take like a
It is.
good convincing win over a team like Green Bay or somebody like that for us to like totally flip flop out of
Flip-flop.
straight sad
5
caps.
consecutive wins. One, if they beat the Packers 45-0, I'm still predicting them to lose against the Broncos.
I'm just saying we're down in the basement and we need to like start up that first or second stair before Michael Myers comes and stabs us in the neck.
How timely. That make a Chucky reference.
Oh God. Yeah, I'm not
It's
Rex
that time of the
Steiner.
year.
It's just bad. Like I don't know. It would take quite a bit. Like I think even if they won 2 in a row before the break, I'm still not going into the Bucks game at all with any
None. Zero.
excitement.
No confidence.
because
Heineke, he's the Bucks killer.
They would have to, right. Well, they he didn't even kill them the first time. He wounded them, and then they beat us still. They would have to win the next 2 games by a combined score of 275-3 for me to think that we have a shot against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Spoiler alert, not going to happen.
like I could also see it being like one of those games like this past week where they give us a little bit of hope and we're like, oh shit, they're doing it. And then Tom's like, no, you're not. And it's just a drubbing like against New England in 2007. It was like 52-7. It's an awful
I was
game.
at that game.
Yeah,
I was at that game.
Carlos
I'm
Rogers
not
tore his
surprised.
ACL. It was a
Yep.
horrible day. He couldn't
Horrible
see
day.
anyways. Not that it mattered.
I was called soup all day long by a 75-year-old man because I was wearing a Campbell jersey.
That's the greatest burn ever.
Yep. And they're going, hey, soup. And I was like, what? We're losing by 45. I know.
That was in New England, right?
Yeah, it was in Boston.
So you were
Oh,
cold
man.
soup.
I was cold soup.
Your name's Soup from now on. Like you're no longer Kenneth J. Paltrow III. You're from now on Soup.
Soup. Yeah, that was a lovely time in my.
Pretty sure he's got like
that
10
is
Jason
the-
Campbell jerseys too.
that is the most
Got him.
sweetest thing to ever come out of a Bostoner's mouth.
I want you to be wearing your Campbell jersey for the podcast next week.
Only if I'm eating chunky Campbell's.
And you better be wearing the signed helmet too.
I do have that right in there too.
You need to acetone that off so the helmet's worth something now.
So just let me save y'all some time. Do you want the sizzling keys to not beating Green Bay this week?
Max, you got to wait for your intro.
Yeah, and also, like, come on, man. We were just talking about food. We could have done a whole, like, segue. Ruined.
Yeah, Max. When I want to hear the 6 sizzling keys to success, I'll let you know. You know what we need to hear right now, Kenny?
No, we don't know where Kenny is. There he
I would
is.
like to know about Max's bacon bits.
No. What?
I didn't have a real thing to put in. It's the best thing I could find.
How do you cook bacon? You cook bacon in a pot?
Like this. My bacon cookers were they're in the dishwasher.
You have a bacon cooker.
Well, that's a skillet.
Yeah, skillet. You call it a bacon cooker.
I forgot its name.
Soup has lost his goddamn mind.
Guarantee it.
Go ahead.
Give me the 6 sizzling keys.
His bacon grease goes right into the trash.
He's
the
such a
sizzling
Yankee.
keys to beating the Packers. I feel like I can tell you it's just not gonna happen. But okay, so the things you got to do, you got to keep Aaron Rodgers in the pocket, put some pressure on him. Whenever he moves out of the pocket, he's actually pretty good. And you just got to not let Devontae Adams run by your safety.
Problem. We have a safety that lets it happen.
Exactly.
He's a human traffic cone.
So if we could just keep some sort of semblance of a game plan like we did in the first half against the Chiefs, that was honestly the most phenomenal first half game planning we've had all year. Like we could literally run that same defense against them and do really well.
And some really boneheaded mistakes just by Mahomes that were very uncharacteristic. They were self wounds more than I think Washington made some plays too.
Right, but you get a quarterback flustered, even a veteran quarterback, they can still make mistakes. So you do that on the other side of the ball. Just basically get the ball to Terry McLaurin. Don't know if Gibson's going to even be 100% for this game or not, but I feel like we're just going to be in a shootout basically in this game. So Terry McLaurin, that's the key to beating Green Bay.
Terry McLaurin. How is their secondary this year? Are they ranked pretty high? Or are they still basically trash like last year?
They're middle of the road. They're not.
Okay, a little improvement.
Special. Yeah, I mean, and actually they're ranked middle of the road after playing like the Bears and Lions and whatnot. So they're probably not even that good.
I guess this brings us to it. I mean, we're to the segment where we show just how depressed we truly are in a calculable way. Soup.
Spread?
Yeah. Why don't you tell me that before Soup gives his prediction?
So Soup, the spread is Green Bay by 9.5.
That seems low.
That seems low.
I'm just projecting Kenny as a Call of Duty character right now. Soup. That's the guy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was one of the recruits.
Yeah.
Kenny's more like one of those guys from the airplane. Never mind, I'm not gonna say it. You're not a bad person.
Go ahead, Soup.
Soup, please give us a prediction.
The Washington football team.
That's some loud
Soup. Now what? You interrupt me every time I'm trying to do this. What?
I just said that was some loud Soup.
Oh, okay. Take two. The Washington football team, mired in controversy and terrible football skills, played at home, didn't go anywhere, played at home, and took on the Kansas City Chiefs, in which they kept it close for a half. But everything came crumbling down. They have fallen to 2-4 and travel to the 5-1 Green Bay Packers. The final score of this game will be a closer one than you probably expected. Packers win, though, 37-24. 31.
Yep. I stick by my prediction that would be some loud soup, and it was very loud.
Wager cleared.
All right, Bacon. We teach Kenny how to cook it. Give me a better prediction than this. Come on.
I'm gonna keep.
I usually go for blowouts. That was a great prediction.
I think a blowout's more apt.
Possibly. I'm gonna keep it simple. I'm gonna keep it straightforward. We are gonna lose 28-20.
Close. I like it. Let's go, Eddie. Come on. Optimism. Keep it rolling.
Optimism about losing.
Close loss.
37-14 Green Bay.
Ooh.
What was the score?
37-14 Green Bay.
You have never been this sad since 2013.
You notice he's got
That's
some
not
facial
true.
hair. He's got some facial hair growing. I think I see a cracker crumb in there
I think I see
somewhere.
a Cheez-It right
It was
there.
never crackers.
I think I see a Ritz cracker growing right around there.
Soup,
Oh,
Soup,
Max.
stop trying to take the attention off of you.
Max, can you give us a prediction update, please?
Yes. Prediction update. Oh, yes. We all hit the game last week. So nothing really changed. Kenny's in the lead, undefeated. I've missed one, and Eddie has missed two.
We're not doing it by margin though. I think we're gonna have to go back and look. Like who's been closest? I think it should be like maybe some Price is Right rules, you know? Like Price is Right rules.
Yeah, we can look back if we need to, because if nothing changes, looks like you're gonna lose.
Well, that's fine, you know, because after this week, I am number one in our fantasy football league, Max.
I heard about that. That's thanks to me.
I mean, yeah, thanks for you choosing the players in real life that are destroying our actual football team that we enjoy.
You're welcome.
You'd be a horrible person.
So, got some rapid fire questions from the Hoggies that were posted.
That doesn't exist.
Yeah, the Hoggies!
It doesn't-
Shout
it doesn't
out to our
exist.
fan base!
Let's
There's
go through
nobody. There's
let's go through
literally
these.
no one.
questions from our friend Martin
Hoggies.
this week. So let's start with. Okay, here's an interesting question. Is it time for Tim Settle to see more playing time?
I'm
I'm
gonna
worried
go
more
with,
about defensive scheme than I am like players as far as that goes.
right. I'm going
in that
NA
area.
on that one.
We got to
Tim
make a
Settle has
decision
never
on
even-
him this year.
What's that?
I think we have to make a decision on him this year.
We do, but he's done nothing to make me even want. Like he might have potential. I don't know where it is. I've never really been a Tim Settle guy. He had a few. I think it was actually last year. He did have a good season, but I'm indifferent about him.
Okay.
My first answer is there is no answer.
What he's saying is he isn't settled on anything.
All right. Let's give a quick rookie evaluation. We're a third of the way in. First round pick, Jamin Davis. Quick grades. Farts and a thumbs down. All right.
It wasn't just a fart. It was a very wet one.
Very wet, long fart. Second round pick, Sam Cosmi. How you feeling?
Yeah.
Average so far. All right. De'Ami Brown.
We'll see.
Kenny
Like-
bent his thumb slightly.
He's old Orange Cassidy over there.
Benjamin St. Juice.
Ugh.
Nothing's been good about our secondary, but
Like
he's young.
a sneaky fart like that you don't mean. That's about how much doo-doo I feel about him.
Any rookies worth talking about?
Cheeseman. He's had great long snaps.
Yeah, thank God. If only everybody could be Cheeseman.
Do we waste any
Who can be
time?
Cheeseman?
Do we waste any time or effort going for free agent pickups or trades?
Just Aaron Rodgers.
Wait, during the season?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Just Aaron Rodgers.
We
Just
don't.
leave it
Not
alone.
during
Let
the
it
season.
leave it alone. Let it burn. Continue. to
Yeah,
burn.
I mean, like you
Yeah.
only do that if you're a step away from, and I don't even think a step away from the playoffs. You only make a move if you're going from a playoff contender to a championship contender. You think you can make that move? You make it. We are none of the above.
No, they're bad. I think maybe they field offers on somebody if they think it's done and they
Yeah.
kind of want to right the ship, or they're not going to re-sign them anyway. So
We are sellers this year, if anything.
yeah, I could see that happening maybe if they want to get something before somebody's contract ends up and somebody becomes interested. Other than that, no, I don't think so.
Okay. Last question. What will happen when Fitzpatrick comes back, and what should happen?
He won't start, and Taylor Heineke should. I think at this point, we know what the team is. Let's see if he's anything. Just give it to him. Let him figure it out. He's basically a rookie. If he's not good, and if you don't try it, you're never gonna know. And it'll be one of those things. I don't think Ryan Fitzpatrick gives you anything special.
Is that what will happen though?
What's that?
I think so.
That's it. Is that
Yeah.
what will happen?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what I meant both ways. I think that's what should and what will happen.
I agree with Eddie 100%, except that's what should happen. What will happen, and I think just because of how poor we are, I think it's going to be a desperate pull. I think, and I'm not rooting for it one bit, and I just told you that's not what should happen. Fitzpatrick will be the starter the moment he's healthy.
I don't think so. I'm gonna disagree there.
I'm in
I
total
would
agreement.
love that to be correct.
I'm in total.
They're going to be
agreement
mostly
with,
out of the playoffs. But
That,
Yeah,
that
which is-
Heineke should continue to play, and I'm in total agreement with Kenny that Fitzpatrick will definitely be going back in.
Yep.
Like they're gonna, it's gonna be like a Sean Taylor spur of the moment dedication ceremony. It's gonna be like, oh, let's do something to get the fans excited. Let's swap quarterbacks. That's our favorite thing to do.
And both guys are just as lifeless.
and then he goes out again. His other hip just breaks in half like a Thanksgiving Day turkey.
And then a year later, he's doing a podcast with two other sad people, just
Can't
like
wait.
Kenny.
Can't wait. Well, we look at that. We're only about, I don't know. I think we're at the point where maybe they should take our shoelaces away. Maybe. I think that's where we're at. And we're at the end of what, episode 7, week 7, something like that.
We're only 6 weeks, 5 episodes in, 6 weeks in.
It's at least 6 episodes in. I think.
This was just week 6. We didn't do in the first one.
I can't
That's
count.
true.
I think this is week 7 though.
I will. I'll send Kim a message on Facebook if I start seeing crackers in your beard soon.
It was never crackers. It was never crackers.
We should all eat Ritz crackers if we don't win another game and just smoke weed or get drunk or do something on this podcast. Do
Please do.
heroin. Just do hardcore drugs all night long until we just
Yeah.
do it and see what happens after an hour and a half.
I'm gonna give myself
We'll do
PCP.
an hour straight of we'll do an hour straight of stupid challenges like eating 10 crackers in 1 minute,
I'll do Tide Pods.
drinking a gallon of milk.
Duke's gonna do
cinnamon
Tide
challenge.
Pods on the last podcast live. We'll do a live podcast with challenges, and then we give the Hoggies can tell me what they want. How do they want me to kill myself?
I want Kenny to
Terrible
do.
idea.
I want Kenny to do the banana and Sprite challenge.
What's
I don't
that?
even know what that is.
It makes you throw up.
No, it doesn't.
Yep. I'll send you a
What
video after
combi-
this.
What physical combination could
I'll
I'll
send you videos of it after this. Like it's a thing.
That's people with like potassium deficiencies.
Kenny gets plenty of potassium in his lactate. Don't worry about it.
No, he's just sitting there, just taking bananas whole in the mouth. Just doesn't even show
Yeah,
him.
that's my banana challenge.
He eats a banana like a madman. It's disgusting. Well, like I said, here we are. We're take our shoelaces away, and we're at the end of another episode. It's been a hard one. I'm your host, Eddie Jenkins. For your other host, Soup. Your other host,
I still live in the bathroom.
Maximum Bacon, saying, remember, if today all you did was hold yourself together, I'm proud of you. See ya.